So after I read every single 1-star review of My Little Pony on IMDB, a lot of you were requesting a part 2. But not only did you guys want a part 2, many of you kind folks directed me to this wonderful little website called commonsensemedia.org. But what is it about this site in particular that sets it apart from others? Well, you see, it has this handy-dandy section where parents can leave their reviews, and right next to it, we have the oh-so-exciting part of this site, what their kids have to say about this show. And let me tell you something. If you have somehow never listened to a child talk about literally anything, let me tell you, kids say some wild stuff. So of course, my question is, what kinds of 1-star reviews can we expect from the children, the target audience of this show? Please, spare yourself and your children! Dumb. More like My Little Failure. Rated for ages 18 and up? This title has too much swearing? Too much drinking, drugs, and smoking? What version of this show are you watching? Oh, and I just want to make it clear real quick. I am not here to hate on the children. I do not hate these kids. I am not trying to attack them. This is all in good fun, but because of that, I will be poking fun at what they say because kids are freaking hilarious. So tell me, 12-year-old, what is it exactly about this show that makes you believe it is 18 and up and has too much swearing, drinking, drugs, and smoking? This show is just bad and teaches girls that throwing tantrums and being rude is somehow okay. Is that it? Clover, did you just not like the show and then proceed to check every possible box as to what this show could have too much of? Such as too much violence, swearing, drinking, drugs, smoking, and consumerism? Actually, you know what? I'll give you that last one. But also, you're 12! Do you even know what the word consumerism means? Yeah, I think this review is gonna kind of set the stage for what we can expect from the rest of these reviews. Alright, 1 star. Terrible show. Rated for ages 7 and up. Parents all over the world, do not show this show to your kids at all. They could do better than this. With villains in the show, it is too violent of a show aimed at children. By golly, you're right! The show having villains in it would cause conflict, wouldn't it? And you know we can't have that in our kid-friendly cartoons. Okay, so it sounds like this child has decided that violence means not for little kids. And to be fair, some families are rather strict about that. But I mean, it is rather mild violence. Most of the time. The show has 2 simple lessons. They need more complex morals. I bet this show would give youngsters nightmares, not for younger children! Okay, so I think this child is claiming that the show is too violent and should really be targeted towards an older audience. And because this show should clearly be targeted towards an older audience, the morals need to be more complex. This title has too much violence and consumerism. Hey! You tagged it correctly. You know, aside from all the screaming in this comment, this is actually pretty tame. Alright, 1 star, rated for ages 15 and up. Why your kids shouldn't watch it. The show means well, but is not well. The main characters are all girls, as are most of the other side characters in the show. There is one male, Spike, but he is shown as sort of a weak, not manly character. There are land ponies, Pegasi, and unicorns, but I think it's all unfair. There's a special place in the clouds that only Pegasus ponies can visit, and also, they can fly while unicorns and land ponies can't. Unicorns can use magic and make potions and carry things, but land ponies can't do any of that. Nobody tell this kid about Apple Bloom's potion making skills. This show is really unfair to the land ponies because they need to live without wings or magic. I also found that the main character becomes a princess and gains wings. So she was a unicorn before, and now she is a princess, and all princesses and the queen have horns and wings. I think it's very unfair and shows kids the wrong message. The ponies are all very accepting of each other too. This is good, but I think it also shows that you can trust and befriend everyone. What if a child watches this and befriends a stranger? They could be in serious trouble. There's also a very snobby character that seems to be a little too dramatic. Another character is passive and goes with anything anyone says. There are a few scary bits too, mostly when the characters fight the villains. I think there are a few more things I disliked while watching it, but these were the main ones for me. Okay, you know what? I actually don't want to rag on this review too much. For a 12-year-old, this was very well said, and I would call this a proper analysis of the show. Now, I of course disagree with the conclusion, but I do love that this kid is bringing nuance into the show and, unlike other children, isn't screaming with all caps, exclamation points everywhere, and saying that this show has too much and drugs. Although this kid did rate it ages 15 and up. But interestingly, that point on how unicorns, pegasi, and earth ponies all have different abilities and the world is just naturally unfair, I think actually greatly adds on to the show. In fact, I think it's one of the best parts. Yeah, I get that this kid wants the world to be fair, but unfortunately, the reality is the world simply isn't fair. We're all dealt a hand in life, and we've just gotta play with what we've got. What's great, though, is that we're each able to use our own strengths to cover each other's weaknesses, and I think MLP demonstrates this very well. The best episode showing this, in my opinion, being the cutie map. And again, this review was very well said, and the points were all very well explained. So you know what I say, kid? Keep doing this. Keep making these kinds of reviews. I can see you potentially doing a very good job in the future. It has been 4 years, so who knows? Maybe this now 16-year-old is excellent at writing analysis. All right, next review. Kid, 7 years old, ages 2 and up. Dumb. Do not watch. My sister watches it every week and she is addicted. This title has too much lol and consumerism. Ages 2 and up. Has too much slow. These kids, they are just tagging the most random of things. My Little Pony appears to be a cute show on the surface, and many people rave about it on the internet, so it must be good, right? Wrong! My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a terrible influence on your younger ones. I used to be a fan myself, but luckily, I grew out of it. Yeah, unfortunately for me and many others, we did not grow out of it and are now forever doomed to attend conventions and buy overpriced plastic. And now I'm sitting here making videos on it. Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash are especially terrible. If your child looks up to them, you should be concerned. And they've stooped to ridiculous lows in episodes like Ponyville Confidential and Party of One. 2 episodes that you should either watch with your child or turn the TV off and let them watch a show with good morals. Like most of the stuff on Nick Jr. or the earlier iterations of Strawberry Shortcake. They say it teaches good morals, but the only moral I could detect was whining always wins and try to make friends with everyone. Even if they're evil, especially if they're evil. The later seasons are way worse than the first 4 and are nothing but toy commercials or brony service. Any child under 8 years old shouldn't be exposed to this stuff. The toys are harmless, but they might persuade your children to watch the show, so watch out for them. Alright, Star Jr., the last items on our shopping list are milk, eggs, dog food, and juice. What kind of juice would you like? Note that last time you spilled grape juice on the couch, and we still haven't gotten that stain out. So we're gonna be avoiding that until we get you a sippy cup. Oh! Son! Don't look!
What is it, Dad?
It's a Pinkie Pie doll! Don't set your eyes upon it, my son, or you may be pulled into the consumerism wormhole in which you will never return! You will be urged to watch My Little Pony for many years to come and learn all of its horrible morals! Don't look! If your child insists on watching My Little Pony, watch the 80s version with your child, since it can get a bit scary at times, or set up the much less violent and kid-friendly 2000s iteration, with good morals and likable characters that you wouldn't be alarmed if your child looked up to. Now, I say this as a fan of Rainbow Dash. I do agree, she is not the best role model. But Pinkie Pie? What's wrong with looking up to Pinkie Pie? Is it perhaps because she's not the brightest? Also, I gotta say, I'm kind of torn on this point that they're making about befriending strangers and evil people. Because on the one hand, I'm just thinking that all friends start off as strangers, and evil people are often evil because they don't have any good influences on their life, and you could be that influence. But also, good on these kids' parents for teaching them stranger danger. I'm genuinely glad to see that this has been drilled into their heads, especially in a world where people's parenting skills are becoming progressively worse. So yeah, from a kid's perspective, I would say this makes absolute sense, but as you get older, suddenly your perspective changes. Alright, next review. The fandom got me so annoyed. Oh no, this person's reviewing us! When my big sister told me about the show, I started to watch it, and loved it! But then I discovered the fandom! I thought that the fandom was fine, but it started to annoy me after a while. Then 3 years ago, I didn't like the show and the fandom anymore. I started to get bored of the show by then. If you like the show or not, that's fine. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. If you engaged with the fandom in any way and the worst you got out of it was a mild annoyance, you are lucky, my friend. All right, next review. 1 star, ages 2 and up. Why? ... Who likes ponies who run around like weird animals screaming, "Oh, look at the fountain of love!" Makes me gag. Oh, how much I would pay to see an episode where the ponies are running around screaming, "Ooh, look at the fountain of love." Did you watch the show? What episode contains a fountain of love? You know what? I don't think this kid actually watched the show. All right, next review. 1 star from Ben29 Oak. An adult? What's an adult doing leaving a review in the kids section? Hold on one moment. Yeah, all the last 3 1 stars are actually from adults. How did they even get in here? Can somebody who understands how this website works please leave a comment explaining to me why there are adults who are able to leave reviews in the kids say section? Because I am very confused. You may think it's safe for your children, but deep down, it's something your kids might squirm doing while they're watching. It's immature and overrated. Squirm? What do you mean squirm? Are you concerned that they're gonna wiggle around in excitement while they watch the show? It's immature and overrated. Yep, that's the entire review. It's overrated and your children will squirm while watching it. All right, next 1 star review from the adult who is for some reason in the kids section. Ages 5 and up. 1 star. This title has too much violence and too much... Whoa. What the heck? This isn't even a review. They left it blank. There's no title, no review, no nothing. It's literally just, this title has too much and violence, but don't worry, kids 5 and up can still watch it. Seriously, after looking at these 2 reviews from the adults and having read the 1 star IMDB reviews, I wanna know how the heck we are living in a world where the kids' 1 star reviews are more reasonable than the adults. Like, the kids here are able to clearly explain what they don't like about the show and explain exactly why they don't like it. And a surprising number of them are doing it in a very reasonable and mature manner. Meanwhile, over on IMDb, we've got people who haven't watched the show, people who keep claiming that Twilight is a stuck-up Mary Sue, and some guy who's literally just reviewing his stepbrother Bob. Yup, that's the thing. All right, there is 1 final review in the kids department. And you know what? I gotta say, after that last one that just happened to be blank with not even a title nor a review, I'm pretty disappointed. And I need something major. I need something good. I need a good long paragraph explaining in great detail why you, the adult, gave this show 1 star. So what do you have to say? Well, it's not very good in my opinion. You know what? Fair enough.